What's up, everybody? We are the Brothers Murph.
We are.
Were you ready?
I was ready, sorry.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody?
Hi.
We're the Brothers Murph.
We are.
And we're here to do another top 10 list.
Indeed.
Top 10 stuff about games.
Indeed.
But what are we
That's what we
talking
do.
about specifically, Nick? Is it anything anyone might ever be interested in?
We're talking about love.
Talking about that love right there.
Talking about love at first game.
We're talking about making a connection.
A connection. That's what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Trying to make love connection through games, people.
Absolutely. We are doing our top 10 board games to play on a first date.
Indeed. Specifically on a first date. Not necessarily top 10 like couples games.
Yes.
But if you're taking a fine gentleman out to a date, you're taking a little lady out to a date, what game are you going to play on that first date? This games.
This games right here will get you started on a path to marriage. And we just lost a bunch of people. Or at least you'll have a good time. But we're going to be talking about games to play on a first date. These are going to be games that are usually going to be on the easier side in terms of accessibility and easy to learn. These are going to be games that hopefully create moments that are very memorable. That will work on communication.
Indeed.
That'll get you out of your shell a little bit.
Yeah, get to know the person a little bit.
Get to know the person, how they work a little bit, because that is the whole point of a first date. And I think it's better than going to a movie where you're like not actually.
Why would you ever go to a movie on a first date? It's the worst. You're not even talking. I hate first date movies.
We have no time to get into that, but
No,
yeah,
don't.
I agree. It's like here you have a something that's bringing you together. You have a purpose, and you can get to know each other a little bit, but like it takes some of the pressure off. I feel like because you're just playing the game.
That's right.
So that's what we're going to be working on. That's kind of what we have in our top 10 list, and we have little flavors and things peppered it throughout. Should we get going?
Let's start with our number 11.
That's right. We're going to give you 11 on this top 10 because we're the Brothers Murph and we give and give and give like that.
That's what we do. So what's that top 11 going to be?
It's going to be Pandemic Legacy.
That's right. How do you guarantee 11 to 23 more dates? Do a legacy game.
Get them stuck in that campaign. You say, I don't care if you don't like me. Mombasa's going down. We got to save that place.
I know. Mombasa? Mumbai?
Or either way.
Yeah. That's how you do it. That's how you game the system. That's how you get more dates.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. It's
But
terrible.
here's our number 10. Do this. What is our number 10?
Our number 10 is a game we're both a bit fond of. Makes us feel all warm and cuddly.
It is.
Our number 10 is Evolution. Evolution. And the reason why we're picking Evolution is because, one, it's got beautiful art. Everyone can agree on that.
Oh,
I think
yes.
it's got such great art. But what Mike brought up, because you were the one who originally pitched this one, and you're like, it gets you talking about animals, your favorite animals, little like kind of light topics that you can talk about. And it starts fun discussions about animals and such, because you always end up making really weird animals. You're like, I'm really fat, but I have a really long neck. Also, I'm a carnivore. It's just like it has that kind of breezy, fun, like bit of storytelling nature of it, and it's really fun to kind of get those kind of conversations started.
Yeah, it's scientifically like satisfying, and you can talk about your favorite animal and what you had. Now you're talking about your dogs and cats you had as kids and whatnot, and it's just, I don't know, a fun, beautiful game that's just really interesting. You know, if the only things about it is like it's not the best at 2-player. It's fine, but it's better in a bigger group. So maybe if you have like a group hang thing.
Yeah, if you're doing a double date, like you're the blind part of the double date. You know, like.
Get down some evolution and stuff, and you know, if you just don't want to be mean, maybe don't be a carnivore and eat your potential future partner.
Totally, and that's one thing you can decide how you want to play that.
Yeah.
But again, it gets those light, breezy conversations, which a lot of this list is like you want to be talking, you want to get to know people for the most part.
Absolutely.
And this is a great way to start those kind of like easy chit chat conversations, like, oh, you know, I really like hippos.
Yeah.
What's your favorite animal and stuff? But it's that way to kind of get a bit of that connection over your love of meerkats.
Yes, Meerkat Manor was canceled too soon.
Too soon.
It's probably still on TV.
I don't know.
I don't know about these things. But anyway, that is our number 10, Evolution.
Evolution.
Let's get into number 9.
Get some horns.
Our number 9 we're gonna shut our mouths for a second, and we're gonna talk body language. We're gonna get into the body.
Get those body language cues going.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gotta lean into your partner. We're gonna be playing a game called Magic Maze.
Magic Maze!
Magic Maze on a first date. Why the hell not? It's a game where you can't talk for the most part, and it really relies on you focusing on this big area, and you're kind of like getting frantic and stuff because you're moving all these little pawns around through a magical mall trying to steal stuff, but you only have the ability to move pawns up and to the right, and they can only move down and to the left. And so you have to move pawns. You have to make sure that they see that the orange pawn needs to move, and so you're kind of tapping and whatnot. And it creates this fervor and this moment where you finally get to pause the game and you flip the sand timer and you can talk. And you're like, oh my god, yeah, you didn't see the thing, and it was like so fun. The green, we gotta get the green in. Okay, cool, good, high five, and now we're back in.
Yes.
And it creates such a fun momentum. It can be chaotic and stuff. So if you're anxiety prone, maybe not, but like, it's just you start giggling about it all.
Yeah, it's a really good like icebreaker, like getting you out of your shell kind of thing. Because again, the game is like you're going through a maze, but you only control a direction, not an individual pawn, and so you have to work through like those nonverbal cues and body language to get. And it starts the giggles, and it starts just like having those like, oh my gosh kind of moments, like, ooh, and it whether or not you want to, it gets you out of your shell. Because if you want to win the game, you just kind of got to get goofy and go for it. You know, you just kind of got to go. And it's just such a fun experience. And again, it's a little bit stressful. So if you're really anxiety prone, maybe not this one. But it's such a good time, and it starts those giggles. And once the game is done, you're going to get like oh gosh, yeah, I wanted to, and you're going to start that discussion instantly right when you're done. And that's what you want on a first date.
And you want a ball of energy. Already,
yeah, and then on top of that, you have something to talk about. You know, you talk about that shared game, which is what all these games, now you have something to talk about with it.
Yeah.
But like this one, it's like you're instantaneously talking about the previous experiences that happened 2 minutes ago. And on top of that, it's a really fun game, and it's a great co-op game, so you're working together. You're not really fighting at all. And it's just a great one to get yourself out of your shell.
Absolutely.
Really, really great for that. And then on top of that, if you are also with other people, it plays great at any level.
It really handles a lot of different situations. But anyway, that is Magic Maze.
For number 9. Let's get into number 8, though. Mike, we're gonna get deep.
Let's get deep.
Let's get deep. Let's get to know these people. Let's get to know these gentlemen and these ladies we're out on dates with, you know? Take a gentleman out. You want to know, is he going to commit now? You know? We are going to play for our number 8, The Pursuit of Happiness.
I know.
The Pursuit of Happiness is essentially the game of life, but a Euro game and an actual game. This one is a little bit, maybe a little step above Gateway, just a teeny bit, a little bit. So make sure they can handle that. But this is a great first date game because it's just storytelling.
Yeah.
You're just going through your life. You get to pick spouses, jobs, you know, all these different things. So you get to get in there and being like, oh, you're going to have 4 girlfriends.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's how you do.
That's how you do. You're going to have 4 girlfriends. Okay, 4 girlfriends, 2 hot tubs, no job. You know, it's like
Just
that's the life you're trying to live.
Make sure that they say, nope, this is not my person.
You know, so you can kind of get to see the life they're living, but nonetheless, the game is a really great game. Yeah. And on top of it, again, if you get into the story, you're just telling these stories like, oh, I'm gonna go for a walk in the park, and then I'm gonna upgrade my hot tub to a hot tub with masseuse, and it just, again, it creates laughter, and you're just talking the whole time about these fictitious lives that you're living, and and on top of that, it's such a good game, so thematic.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you can get into it, be like, you know, the game of life, that game everyone needs to play but isn't very good. This is that, but so much better. So it's a nice segue into the game.
Yeah, so you get a little bit of the nostalgia of the past, and you talk about like the games you used to play growing up, because this reminds you of those, but now we're playing the games of today, and now we are growing up, and I just feel like there's a really natural flow there that'll get you kind of talking and enjoying the game. It's a game that you can totally, even though there's a lot going on, you can totally talk your way through and enjoy kind of in a leisurely way. I just think Pursuit of Happiness is wicked fun, and like openly joke about the fact that you're like, oh, I guess we're just going to get this all out on the table now, huh? We're going to find out what we're all about. You know what I mean? And just like,
it creates that, again, that easy chit chat, you know? And again, kind of like, you know, that kind of playful ribbing each other and being like, Oh, you're just going to join a motorcycle gang?
Okay.
That's what you're doing right now?
Okay.
Oh, okay. I see how
You
it
still haven't
is.
finished designing your website from over there. Now you're,
I know, right?
prospecting a gang.
Still
Okay.
working on your chess collection, huh?
Making sure I understand you. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
And just like
exactly.
have fun. Have fun with it. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. So that's going to be our number 8, The Pursuit of Happiness, a lovely game that would be great to play on a first date, which is why it's on this list.
Makes sense. Let's get into number 7.
7.
Our number 7 is Staring Contest, go! The mind. See what we did there? Because that's what you do in the mind is you stare at each other all weird.
You want to get real intense real quick? This is how you do it.
The mind is a great
See how
game.
intense that was?
It's a great game. It's very scary. It's very scary. It's tough to make eye contact with people, but this is one where you're forced to, and you can look into each other's souls. No, we're kidding. The mind is fun. It similar vibes to maybe Magic Maze a little bit, but the mind is just so streamlined because it's just cards. There's a few cards, but you can get a memorable moment out of that game.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's just so much tension when someone throws down 13 and you throw down 14 right before they throw down 17, and you're just like, oh, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Because in the mind, you have a deck of cards that are numbered 1 through 100.
Right.
And you have to play them in numerical order, but you're not allowed to talk.
Right.
So the thing is, if I have 10 and the last card played was 2, do I think that he or she has a card before the card I have? And there's a lot of that, like,
Yeah.
it's just this really intense. It starts giggles, and they're like you just said, there's so many of those like, oh kind of moments. Because if they play 13, you instantly play 14, and you just got there in your heads, together. It's just like it creates that connection, and it's just again, it starts the giggles. You can't talk, so it doesn't start the conversation right away. But it's so many of those. High five and like yes.
Those
kind of
debriefs
moments.
in between the rounds are going to be huge.
Yeah, huge, and it's such a good. And again, it's 2 seconds we have to put these cards in order. We can't talk. Boom, go.
You can play it anywhere.
It's a deck of cards too. Yeah, you don't even have to be at like a game store or anything like that. No. You can be at if you're meeting at a Starbucks. You can bring the mind and then and it's such a good game. And although it's kind of a weird choice because you're just staring at each other and you're silent, I really think it works on a first date because of that, like, it's that kind of forced connection. On top of that, you kind of get to suss each other out a little bit, you know?
You see what their composure's like, how they can handle a tough spot.
Handle pressure.
What would you know about pressure? Anyways, that's all we get. We just love the mind, and we personally think it's great. I think it is just exciting, silly, fun, engaging, challenging. There's just so much and so little.
Yeah.
Like, you get someone that's just down, like, I think anytime that you play a game that's going to lead to a high five on the first date, like, you're going to be well on your way.
Yeah, you're doing okay.
Yeah, so the mind is a good choice for us and our brains, from our brains to yours. Rolling right on to number 6. Speaking of rolling and tumbling, what is our number 6, Nick?
It is going to be Meatball Circus.
Board games.
Board games. Meatball Circus is a wonderful little game. It's a dexterity stacking game. So you're stacking different members of the circus. And so you have like strong men who are always on the bottom. You have like aerial people who are in the air. You have even like bigger acrobats who want to be higher and higher in the air. And then there's elephants and donkeys and horses, balls and sticks and
stuff. Yeah.
And you're essentially drafting different components almost. Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this card and this is gonna give me 2 like aerialists and a ball.
Yeah.
And then you have to, and then there's a bunch of different schematics essentially of kind of different setups you want to have.
Yeah.
And then you have a certain amount of time, I think it's 2 minutes, to build, get as many points as you can through your build. And so there's a bit of that like timed aspect, so you get to see how they're doing under pressure. Like when you ask them to marry them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, again, it's a super light, fun game where you're stacking. Dexterity games are always good because, again, you can talk and chat and stuff. Mm-hmm. But then on top of that, it's really cute and it's got a great theme. But on top of that, there's strategy in terms of what you're getting. So it's not just like, oh, there's like, it's just a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. There's an actual game there.
Absolutely.
And it's just so wonderful, and I feel really good for this kind of situation of a light, easy kind of game that you can just have an absolute blast with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun just to get tactile and just be building stuff and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it's just light and fun. And there's a little bit of like party game element in the last round where you're standing up and applauding and everything. So you can kind of be silly, but you also don't have to be like super big with that if you're like a little more shy.
Yeah.
It's just a fun game. It's any sort of dexterity game can be really fun. It's just kind of a silly little theme. It's light and like, who doesn't love the circus?
Yeah, and most dexterity games could be put on this list because
Yeah.
they're very easy. But this one, it's like you have an actual game with
Yeah,
it.
the theme is a little more satisfying than most dexterity games.
100%, yeah.
Just because the little meatballs and stuff are cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be our number 6, Meatball Circus. A great, fun, light little game that will just delight everyone.
Absolutely. There'll be applause all around.
2 snaps up. We're halfway through. Should we hit the number 5?
Let's do it.
Hit him with the number 5?
What? Our number 5 is
Such a good game.
a game by Restoration Games. They make fine products.
They do make fine products, those Restoration Games.
Indeed, and this is a great game that we love playing, and it is Stop Thief.
Stop thief. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it, thief.
Quit it. Knock it off. Stop Thief is an awesome game in which you're trying to catch bandits and robbers, and it is an app-driven game. So you have a board, and you have an app that's going to be giving you clues as to where the bandits are. And based on those clues, you're trying to deduce. So it can only be in this store and this because of the pattern and the different clues all lead. It has to be this space, and you're trying to catch robbers. The cool thing about it is you can play competitively if you want. Plays 2 to 4. You can play cooperatively, and it's very fun and very challenging cooperative.
Yes.
So you get to be a team and try to solve, the mysteries of Danny Atlantic and the 7 bandits. The Atlantic 7. It just creates great conversation.
Yes.
Because you're all you're looking at the puzzle and you're like, okay, so we heard that the robber's walking around inside, and then they opened a door, then they walked again, then they robbed something, then they broke a window. So and you're looking at these things, and you're discussing like, what can it be? You're talking about strategy.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of interaction going on.
Yes.
And like that, I think is
Yeah,
choice.
because this one it's all about the interaction.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I suppose you could both just be sitting there being like, and just deducing in your head, but you don't in this game. You tend to discuss all the time, and,
Yeah.
and on top of that, because of the app, it's super interactive because you have to listen to the clues. So you're just like you hear. You're like, oh, they went through a door. So you're instantly just like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, and you start talking about it, and it's just the
Yeah.
interactive nature leads to great discussions, which just leads to, again, having a nice, easy time and really kind of getting to know the person because you're laughing, you're talking,
Yeah.
you're looking up, being like, I think they're here, and it just leads to connection, and I love that,
Absolutely.
especially the co-op mode. Competitive mode, not quite as much because you're probably not trying to share the information that you're deducing in your head.
Right.
But even then, it's still a really great game. But especially in co-op, this is a great first date game. I mean, this
Absolutely.
one is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, we love it. We can't get enough of it. The game just keeps getting more and more fun the more you play it, and the app is updating soon to have even more modes of play, and I just think it's a really great one. It's a good-looking game. The app is slick and cool, and hopefully keeps you off your phone if your phone's being used for the game.
There's also that.
Something like
That's what
that.
I want
So,
right there. Just be like,
oh my
you like chicken?
Nightmare. I want to tweet about that. Chicken.
I'll live tweet this whole date.
El Tweedo de Pollo. Anyway, so Stop Thief is just satisfies. Really fun game, and great for getting you talking.
Yeah.
But talking about the game, so it's easier. Pressure's off. You're just
Sense
about
of
the game.
theme. A lot of talking in this list.
Yeah,
And that's what's best.
I think it helps if you talk to the person you like. Okay. What? But that is our number 5. Let's get into number 4.
Foe.
What is our number 4, Nicholas?
Our number 4 is just a classic at this point. A classic that is called Carcassonne.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Carcassonne is a billion different versions. You could really choose any of them, but I'm going to go ahead and say basic, normal Carcassonne. Straight bottom line Carcassonne. And Carcassonne comes down to just in terms of a game that has strategy, but it's ultimate breezy game of just placing tiles. Again, you're building a board, building the I guess, Empire of Carcassonne and trying to claim roads and cities and gain points by doing that. But it's just flip over a tile, place it, claim something if you want, and that's it. But there's a couple different reasons why we chose this one. One, again, because the breezy nature, you can sit there and just talk about whatever while you play. You can be like, oh yeah, so you like to ride horses? And you can kind of be doing that while you're playing the game, and that's perfect. But one of the main reasons why we chose it is because if the gentleman who you are introducing to games, if they don't really play games very often, and you're kind of the one being like, hey, let's go to a game cafe or a game store for our first date, and you're kind of the one introducing them to the board game hobby, this is a great one because if they've only played like the Monopolies, the Games of Life, Candyland, those kind of games, this is completely different.
It's going to blow your brain out.
It's going to blow your brain out because the board starts this big. Yeah. And then, because it's just one tile, and you're building the board, so it's likely something they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And that's just very interesting. And you're instantly just like, oh, wow, cool. Because I've had that on first dates where I'm playing a game, and it's very much like, whoa, this is so fun. And that's what you want. If their takeaway is like, how much fun is this? It's like, hey, is the fun because of you or because of the games? Who cares? They're having fun. And this is kind of game where you can introduce someone to the hobby and really be like, wow, this is different. Yeah. And this is cool. And then they associate you with being different and cool.
Dang.
And on top of that, it's just a great game. It's one of the most high-selling games for a reason. It's one of the best gateway games for a reason. Right. Super easy, wonderful, interesting. Oh, it's just great. And it's a great first date game. I mean, it just really is. It's like, that's a game, if you want to talk, boom. If you want something that's going to blow their face, boom.
Hard to beat. Absolutely. Yeah. It just hits on many different levels. Like Carcassonne is quick, pretty, interesting, in terms of, like I said, building a board so that there's engaging in that way, but it's also very easy to talk and play. It's just got a lot going for it. So yeah. Carcassonne, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not afraid to say it's on the list.
Yes.
Carca, hell yeah. Let's do number 3. Let's do number 2. All right, getting up into the actual good games now, folks. Our number 3.
Crap.
We want to see how your mind works. Now that we've played the mind, I want to see how you make patterns and associations. So we're going to play a 2-player version of a game, and that is going to be Codenames Duet.
Codenames Do It.
Yeah, dude. Codenames, dude.
Yeah, Codenames Duet.
Yes, Codenames Duet. Such a fun game, and it's streamlined for 2 players. It's cooperative, which we like, and this is fun because you can challenge yourself with something that's kind of familiar. Like, we all know password, that kind of idea of, like, give a 1-word clue. We all play things like Heads Up and whatnot, and so it's in a similar vein as all that. But it can be very challenging, so I feel like you get, like, very much like, we're on this side, we're on the same side, and the cool thing is you get to see, like, how you think.
Yeah, how their mind works. Yeah, like
really,
what kind of connections they make. And
peanut
stuff.
Butter for Columbia and Badger.
You have had an interesting life. Let's talk about that real quick.
How did you do that? You know what I mean? And now you're talking about the thinking and the brain and the process, which then gets into stories, and that's how you work it. And so, like, I really think there's a lot, and using a game that everyone can kind of, like, get their head around. Like, again, the password idea.
Yeah, totally.
Like, oh, I get that.
It's a familiar theme, and and again, just because you get to, and again, it's very much like you're trying to make that connection, you know, because you're like, we need to win this, and so, like, you're trying to think, we're here, we're here,
exactly,
we're here, just that, and it's that great kind of connection. And on top of that, again, you kind of get to see how they think and how they connect things. It's not going to tell you, like, the deep, dark secrets of them, but it's a little bit of who they are, in terms of, you're like, oh, okay, and stuff, and it's
I see how your brain works.
And you can kind of see how compatible you are on a very small level, being like, oh, okay, like, we're vibing, like, we're on the same level. Again, that's only going to go so deep. It's not like, cool, you want to get married? But, it's like, you can kind of get that, like, okay, it's a good way to test out the vibes, you know? Absolutely. And so, Codenames Duet is great. It's perfect for what it is, and it's a great, easy, again, quick, wonderful little 2-player game.
Absolutely.
That I would play on a first date.
As you should.
Indeed.
Let's get into number 2. All right, man, we are getting right to it. So what is Number Dos?
Number Dos is a game, or actually, we're putting 2 games here because they both kind of fill the same category, and we couldn't really decide which one. Yeah. So we're going to say Sagrada / Azul.
Right.
And there's a couple different reasons. Again, like we said multiple times, it's games that you can discuss other stuff while you're playing them. But these are they have a decent amount of strategy. Both of them do.
Yeah.
On top of that, they're just gorgeous. And that helps. I mean, again, it's not everything, obviously, but like having a good-looking game, especially if they're pretty new to games, being like, wow, this is great. I personally have played Sagrada on multiple first dates.
Yeah.
And that game has always gone over really, really well in that situation. The dates didn't work out. I'm still sad alone.
But you still like Sagrada.
Beep. But
it's a light little dice drafting
Sagrada / Azul went great. And it's just gorgeous. They're easy to learn, but they have a lot of strategy, but you can still like talk over them.
Yep.
And it's not really like a specific thing. Like a lot of our games on here have been like, it's for this or to kind of like bond on this level. This one, they just work in this setting.
Yeah.
They just do.
They're light enough. Sagrada's a little dice drafting game, and you're trying to basically Sudoku it with these colored dice and numbers. You don't want the same color and number to touch each other, and you're just filling in your little grid. Very simple, very light, very beautiful. You can talk over it. Azul, beautiful tiles, and you're trying to draft them down into, your board and stuff, but you can talk over them.
Yeah.
They're just satisfying. They're good to the touch, beautiful on the eyes. Not so bad going down those ball games. But it ultimately allows you to talk. So, it's a little more just kind of open, general, like, it's just, like, good stuff.
Yeah.
Social.
They just work.
Yeah, you know what?
That's what it is.
That's all it needs to do is work.
All it needs is just to work.
Word. That's number 2. Let's do number 1.
Boom.
Hot dog, it's that time for number 1. Ooh. That's all you gotta say about that. Ooh, this first day's going so good. We played 9 games in a row. We're gonna cap it off with the best of them all. And the best of them all, obviously, given us and our taste, is Pandemic.
I think we're gonna start getting crap about putting Pandemic on every list first of all, and then at the top of every list. I don't care. It's such a good first date game.
Yeah, so we joked about having Pandemic Legacy as a good first date game, but Pandemic Regular is a good first date game, I think, because
I've played
it's
it. Have played on first
the
dates.
ultimate hard co-op.
Yeah.
You are uniting to save the world.
It's a theme everyone can get behind.
Come on. The world's getting ravaged by disease, and you're the only people that can stop it. Who's not signing up for that?
It's true. I mean, it's true. It really is. And again, it's a theme that like it's a good pitch. It's like that's why whether I'm playing on a date or not, I'm just like we're all together and we're trying to save the world from diseases. Yeah. It's a good pitch to get people to play a game.
I'm an operations manager. You get to be a medic and this and that.
Yeah, and I talk about discussions. It's another game where you have to talk things through where you're just like, okay, we should go to Mumbai, and you're right, and it's perfect.
It's fun. It's fairly accessible in terms of learning the rules. You have some actions you can do, but there's not many. So despite kind of looking big and all that, like it's fairly easy to learn.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and you can really talk through everything. The only thing I would warn against is quarterbacking.
Yeah, don't alpha game.
Too much.
Yeah.
Because if you play Pandemic a lot, it's easy to kind of say, like, I think you should do this, this, and this, and this. And I've definitely played games with people, and they said, like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And, like, help guide them to that realization themselves. You want them to ultimately do that thing, but, like, have them figure out the discovery of it.
No one wants to be on a first date and just be told what to do for, like, an hour.
No one wants that.
Don't need that.
And, again, I played games of Pandemic where I realized I was doing that, just in general, like groups and stuff, and I was like, that's not good. So,
but if you can keep yourself from quarterbacking, it's just great. Again, it's great. Easy. Like he said, it's accessible. It's got such a good theme. It's very nice to look at, and it's just a great discussion game, and you can make it hard or easy. It's a good thing to like, oh, it works well. Let's run it back and do it again. It's just one of those games that you can just get into. And it just works. It just works as a first date game, or just as a gateway game in general. But I really do think because of the theme, it's so nice to have that bonding. Like especially if you get it, you're like, we'll save the world.
Yeah,
you want to go out again?
We did it. We can keep this going. I've always wanted to see.
We
Jakarta.
saved the world. I've never seen Paris.
Yeah. We want to know, before we get out of here, what do you think are good first date games?
Yeah.
Put them in the comments below. Let's keep this discussion going.
Yes, indeed.
The other thing we need you to do, if you're new to us, hello. subscribe.
Yes, please.
Get notifications for more top 10s and things that we have going on. So click that little bell and subscribe, please. Like this video. It really helps us out. And please share this video because people are always looking for and searching good things to do for first dates.
Yep.
Different things to do for first dates. People are tired of the old, like, met in the old bar. They want to meet at a cafe and do something different and interesting now.
And board games in general is such a good first date. It really is, honestly. I've used it many times, always to failure.
Right.
I mean...
But you had a good time.
Failure. That date went great. I've never had to go bad.
Absolutely. So no matter what game you play on a first date, just make sure you play a game on a first date. Play Operation. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just enjoy games with people and spread the love around. And you can spread this video and be very, very helpful. So thank you so much for that. It really helps us out.
So I think that's going to be it for us. That is our top 10 games to play on a first date. Go out and date, people. If you've been married for 30 years, start over again.
Or just take your husband or wife out on a date and just date that person. Be about that person.
Be about that life.
Yeah, man.
And so until next time, I am Nick.
I'm Mike.
We're the brothers Murph, and we will see you later.
Cheers.
Woo! These end bumpers are always exactly the same. We're always sponsored by Restoration Games, and we always have funny little videos over here that you can check out that relate to this video. But you know why it's really always the same? Because we live in LA, and it never changes here. It's 85 and sunny every day, including right now. You know it. Check the weather. Middle of the night, don't care. 85!